We welcome you here to the stage. Can you tell us your name and where you're from?
Gladys from Pasco, Washington.
And Gladys, please tell us your testimony.
So when I came here in January, I took classes in March, and something happened, so I wasn't able to finish the course, and I didn't drop the class in time. So a couple months later, I got a letter from the school saying, hey, you owe $1,000. So I opened the letter, and I was like, God, I'm not paying this. And so so one day I was watching the Monday Diplomatic Service with Prophet Shepherd Bushiri, and he says, if you have an issue, take the issue and lift it up in your hands. So I lifted it up, and then all of a sudden my hands start going like this, and I'm just like, what the heck? And then so I put my hand back down, and then he was just like, the angels of God has just been sent to collect the papers. And I'm like, okay. So so the next day I was laying in my bed, and I was just like, okay, well, let me see if I do it by myself, if my hand will still whirl. So I'm just like, okay, nothing's happening, so I guess it was an angel. So then I called the school, and I was just like, so I got a letter saying that I owed a fee, and I just wanted to make sure, I just wanted to check to see what it was all about. I knew what it was, but I was just, let me see if it's still there. So then she checked, and she was just like, yeah, there's a $1,000 fee, da-da-da-da-da. And I was just like, oh, all right, whatever. So so Monday, I watched the diplomatic service again, and then he goes, if you have an issue, wave the issue in front of the screen. So I'm like, God, I'm waving. And I was just like, God, I declare right now that this is paid for. And I'm like, I'm not paying for it. So I called the school again, and she was just like, yeah, there's a $1,000 fee. I'm like, dang. So I just stood on it, and I was just like, God, I'm not paying for this. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you have to do, but I'm not paying for this. Not a penny out of my pocket is coming out for this fee. So 2 weeks passed, and I was just like, all right. So I'm calling to see if, I'm like, well, I'm calling because I received a letter from the school saying that I owe a fee. And she's like, well, I don't see what you're talking about. And I was like, I had a letter. She's like, well, sometimes the letter comes, but the fee had already been taken care of. And I'm just like, okay. And she's like, well, one second. And so she's like searching. And she's like, so I've seen the fee has been waived. I'm like, you're darn right it was waived. When I got it, she's like, the fee has been waived. And I was just like, okay. And then so I was just like, oh, let me go to the school and actually check. So I went to the school, and I was just like, okay, so I had a letter saying that I owed $1,000. Here's the backstory of it. I was like, I did not pay anything, and they're telling me that I don't owe anything. So I just want to make sure that I do not owe anything. And so she's like, okay. And she checks. She's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I do not see a fee at all. So yeah.
What would be your advice for those that just heard your testimony? What would you want to encourage them with? I
have two things. Number one, delay does not mean denial. I've tried once, twice, 3 times, went up there, and the issue wasn't resolved, but I didn't give up. My second advice is, I hear from a prophet, he says, connect in order to collect. Sometimes we see the prophets or the men of God, or we're in church, and they say, raise your hand and go like this, or wave your paper in front of the screen, and it sounds stupid. It sounds dumb. It sounds foolish. But once we connect, we're able to collect the blessing that is being ministered.
That's good. That's good stuff, Gladys. Thank you so much.